right, it's time for our weekly chat with Bozeman Icedogs head coach and general manager Mike Perkins here on the Coaches Show on CIH Media. Coach, how are things? I imagine spirits are very high after the past weekend.
Yeah, we had a good practice this morning, so the guys are pretty excited. Two good wins over the weekend, and can't complain. We walked out of practice, and it was 54 degrees out, so we were pretty happy with that.
Wow, look at that. That's a heat wave.
Yeah, we're having a little bit of a heat wave here. I don't think it's going to be long lasting, but I think we have a few days of some decent weather.
Well, that's great. And you get that after, like you said, coming off of 2 wins against Butte, both at home in the midst of a 5-game homestand as well. So that's always got to be nice. You talked about it last week where, the kids get to sleep in their own bed before they come out and play. So hopefully that helped a little bit. I wanted to ask you this. You and I, of course, we have roots here in Southern California where I'm located, and we talk about the Ducks and how well they've been playing recently. I gotta know, up in Bozeman, what's the fandom like up there? What's the I was looking at a map and I realized Calgary is probably the closest professional team to the area as far as the NHL is concerned. Is it spread out all over the map, or is there one team that everybody seems to gravitate towards?
Well, I do think that there's a lot of people in Montana that are not from Montana that live here and are transplants in one way, shape, or form. But I do see a lot of Colorado Avs fans here.
Oh,
yeah, big Avs fans here. I think the Knights have definitely infiltrated. In fact, one of the TV stations has all their games on. I believe it Scripps or something like that has the contract to broadcast games here in Montana with the Golden Knights, which is awesome. And then we do have some Kraken fans here as well. I think there's been a little bit of a pull on that end of it with some people that maybe from Washington State that live here now. So between the Avs and the Kraken and the Knights, that takes up a good chunk of fandom. Although I do run into a few Canucks fans, a few Flames fans, and then you have the outliers of anybody from anywhere else. There's Boston. I was driving down the street the other day and saw a Bruins sticker on somebody's vehicle, and I was like, "What? Here?" Of course, but yeah. So lots of that's probably one of the great things about Bozeman. I don't think a lot of people know is that it has a really strong hockey culture with years of junior hockey, but also Montana State University has their ACHA program here that does very well. In fact, they're having an amazing start to their season. They're 16-0 and just beat Dakota State College, which I think is the West Region #1. They swept them in Botno, North Dakota last weekend. So good on them, and great job to that group. They're, like I've mentioned before, they're partners in a lot of things that we do. Coach Dave Weaver and Pete Kamen and George Wolf and Sam Coulter and all the guys that work with that program are close with us, and we work together in a lot of different areas. So we're super excited for those guys and what they're doing. But our youth program is booming. It's the largest youth program in Montana. We have a very large adult hockey program here of close to 1,000 players in our adult program here in Bozeman. And in fact, this last weekend, so part of our fan experience was you'll find this interesting. They had a wood stick tournament. So everybody that played in the tournament had to use a wooden stick. And that was going on at the same time throughout the course of the weekend. So we had a lot of trickle over of fans on that end of it. So we want to thank all those people that came out to watch us while participating in the wood stick tournament. And they looked like they were having a blast and a good time. And the beer was flowing definitely on that one, and they were having a good time. So and they came out to support us as well. So it was good to have fans from that group that came over and participated in our events.
No, that's really cool. Did you find any North Stars fans by any chance?
I think I'm the only North Star fan left outside the borders of Minnesota. I know there's a bunch there, and we're hanging on for dear life to with the N and the big star on the jersey. We dream of those days. We dream of the Bobby Smiths and the Glenn Sharpleys and the Freddie Barretts and the Brad Maxwells and the Neil Broughtons and the Jills Malashes and the Donnie Beaupre's of the world. We still miss those guys.
I had to bring that up. I knew it would get your juices, but here as we get things going.
Yeah, the North Stars. We had some rough years. We had a couple good years, but we had some rough years where we cheered them on whether they were winning or not.
As you should, as you should. Well, let's keep the good times going because, like we mentioned, 2-0 over the weekend against Butte. Got some revenge from the weekend before.
Yep.
It was 6-2 on Friday night. Went down early. What was the message to the boys after that first goal went in?
There was no message from us. It was all them.
And it was a heck of a response.
It's a little bit of a snafu on communication, and they capitalized. Got rightly so, and they should. But our guys bounced right back and got back on the board and took off and scored 3 there in the first.
Yeah, 2 from Zarnecki. He bookended those 3 goals, and Kaunas had that middle one. It was 3-1 after 1. Now, after the first period, Butte decided they were going to go with a goaltender change. Braylon Rogers was taken out of the game. When you have the boys all together and you see that the other team says this ain't working out, does that get things going a little bit, that they see that they just chased another opposition?
Our message is let's knock him out too. So I think that's the message from the guys right now, and I think we're finally getting to a stage where our leadership group is really doing a good job of taking the reins on some of that stuff. And like I've mentioned it before, it's our goal to give that leadership more and more so as the season grows to our group of leaders, and I think it really stems from them, and quite frankly it's got to come from a guy like Mason Zarnecki to get us going, and Andrew Kaunas gets a turnover and steps to the front of the net and snaps it in the back of the net, and that was a huge goal, and then that line of Porciuncula, Wilkinson, and Zarnecki, they were getting a lot of zone time and a lot of pressure, and they got that second goal of Mason's was off a face-off, and good little play by him, good face-off win from Spencer to Mason, and Mason just stepped in and eluded a winger that just kind of skated past him and stepped in the middle and snapped it back up top shelf on the near side. So it was a good goal and really got us moving and got us going. But like I said, the leadership, they can talk all they want, but they got to get it done on the ice as well.
Yeah, and you may not have chased that other goaltender, which sure gave him a heck of a ride also, because he scored 3 more after that, including 1 in the second period there from Spencer Wilkinson, like you mentioned. Aiden Clements and Matthias Godfrey got on the board in that third period, put things away. I want to talk about special teams a little bit. You guys were 2 for 3 on that power play in that first game, but maybe more importantly, shut them down in all 5 power play attempts defensively. How do you like your special teams, and what clicked for you in that one?
Yeah, as far as the power play goes, we've been we've been really swimming on that one a little bit, and things just started clicking a little bit last week during practice. And we feel good with our structure. We feel good with where we're at on that, and knock on wood that we're going to continue to keep moving on that end of it. And what were we on the weekend? 3 for 9.
3 out of 9. Yeah.
3 for 9 out of the weekend, and they were 1 for 12 on theirs. So
1 of 11. Yeah.
1 of 11. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like we did what we were supposed to on the penalty kill, and really made it difficult for them to enter the zone. And then once they got inside the zone, if they got anything set up, that we were positionally sound. The one goal that they did get on Saturday night was a broken play, and it was a good play. It was a good pass from Crooks to Brow, and Smert tried to get over to it, and I don't know if he got a piece of it or not, but we were actually talking about that goal here this morning. So, but we're very happy with our penalty killing, and we got to continue it. Like it's got to be a big piece to our game. We got to be, we got to be 3 for 9 on a weekend on the power play, and we got to be 1 for 11 on the PK. If we can do that, then it gives us a good chance to win hockey games.
Well, it certainly helped on Friday night, that's for sure. 5 players with multiple points in the score sheet there on that Friday game. Countess had a goal and 2 assists. He led the way with 3. Zarnecki followed up his second star of the week nod in the Frontier Division from the prior week with that 2-goal game on Friday night. So he picks up where he left off. And then on Saturday, 5-2, pretty much the same score. First period was kind of quiet. What do you do after a scoreless first period like that, where both teams are kind of jockeying for position?
Fully expected Butte to come out and, obviously not happy with the result on Friday night. I fully expected them to come out and play a tough first period. And it wasn't for lack of chances on our end. I think, we possessed the puck quite a bit in the first period in their zone, and we just couldn't get it past their goaltender on Saturday night in the first period, and then came back in the second period and really kind of got things jump started on that end of it, and then finished out in the third. But we just got to stick to our game plan. We're going to run into teams that are, it's going to take some time to break down their wall and get our chances, and to be opportunistic on those chances. So, the message isn't different. We just got to stay to our game plan.
Yeah, the second period on Saturday was similar to the first period on Friday. It was 3-1 Bozeman after that period concluded. So certainly got the job done. 5 different goal scorers for the team on Saturday. You spread it around the wealth, and everybody got their hand in the pot there.
Yeah, well, that's what we need. We need scoring from all throughout our lineup, and then obviously it's not just forwards, it's defensemen getting in the mix too. And when you have that, then again, I mean, that's a recipe for success as a team and winning hockey games. Is when you got the special teams doing what they're supposed to, and you got scoring coming throughout your lineup, then we're in a pretty good spot. Goals against for the season, we're clicking pretty close to where we should be. We're just over 2 goals a game. The goals for, our goal is to be around 4 per game, and right now we're just over 3. So I think that's an area that we gotta get back to our scoring ways a little bit. I know we had a little bit of a lull there, where we didn't score more than 1 or 2 goals a game. And like, if you can score 4 and keep the other team to 2 on a consistent basis, you're going to have more opportunities to win hockey games. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out, but
I was just about to say the math checks out on that list.
Yeah, the math does check out, but that's really, when it comes to statistics, we don't really spend a whole lot of time discussing that, but that is one area that we do talk to our guys about. Like, they got to be cognizant of that. They got to be aware of how the game works in that manner, and that's where we got it done this weekend.
Late in the third period, up 5-2. You have to go to Isaac Weatherford in between the pipes. How was he able to stay loose and just jump in at a moment's notice and put on the performance that he did?
Well, first of all, obviously we don't want to see Smersy go out the way he did. Unfortunately, we'll have some more updates on that here as the week progresses. But as far as Isaac goes, that's your job as the backup, is to be ready no matter what. And you just never know when your number is going to be called. And Isaac was ready. He made 5 to 7 saves, with under 3 minutes to go in the game. They had a power play and they pulled their goalie, and he made some huge saves to really quiet things down and give us an opportunity to get that final nail in the coffin with the empty net goal that Porciuncula got. So, we're really proud of Isaac and his efforts. Although, I mean, I got to tell you, Sean played a heck of a hockey game. He made a save against Crooks late in the game. It was a power play that they had, and Crooks, who's a very good shooter, shot the puck through a screen, short side upstairs, it was ticketed for the back of the net, and Sean got his glove on it. That's, in my mind, that's, one of the biggest saves of the weekend.
Yeah, those are goals, late in the game that could totally change the tide and switch momentum over. So you get a stop like that. And
Well, at that time, it would have made it 4-3,
yeah,
right? So then, with, maybe there's 2 minutes to go, that's plenty of time for them to get things going to try to get it tied back up. So, but Sean was there and made a great save. So, he did a fantastic job. But as far as Isaac goes, Isaac's just one of those players that he's ready all the time. He wants to play. He wants to be in the mix, and he got his opportunity, and he's been very good in what he's done, and he's a great team guy, great locker room guy, and he's there for his teammates. So that says a lot about his character and who he is as a person.
one other player I want to bring up who was major in the contribution department this weekend is Wes Innes, who at the blue line there had 4 assists, 2 in each game over the weekend. Talk about his contributions over that 2-game stretch.
Yeah, Wes has been an awesome addition to our team. I can't say enough about who he is as a person. First of all, he's a great locker room guy. He's a little quiet, but he's well liked in the locker room. The guys love him. But as far as his play on the ice goes, he's very steady defensively. He's got a good shot. He makes good first passes, and consequently, he gets some points out of it because he makes a lot of the right plays, and that was really the story for him this weekend is. And it's almost funny because, like, if you didn't notice, you'd be like, what? He had 4 points? You got to be kidding me. But, because a lot of the stuff that you see him do are, being very physical in the defensive zone. You see him making good outlet passes, getting pucks up the ice. He's very good at that. And that's where, he's been a welcome addition to the team, and blocks a lot of minutes for us. The tough part is that, what is this? Only his 4th or 5th game? Is that where he's at? And
Yeah,
the first game of the season, he broke his wrist, and he was out for 2.5 months, at least 2 months, 2.5 months. And he's jumped right back into the lineup and has been a very important part to our decor, let alone our scoring here. Now he's getting in the mix there. So he's been fantastic.
and he gets honorable mention as far as team awards are considered here for this week. Bozeman named their 3 stars recently, and Mason Zarnecki was number 1, Matthew Ryan in number 2, Sean Smir got that 3rd star. So 2 goaltenders in the 3-star selection for this week, and I'm sure you're happy with both their performances over the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I think really, for lack of better terminology, it's 2A and 2B on the stars. They both played very solid games and made very good saves throughout both games, and that's what we need too. We need the goaltending aspect of it. We can talk all day about who's getting points and who's doing this and that, but really, when it comes down to it, we need goaltending that can get the job done when we really need it. And both Matthew and Sean have done a fantastic job. So they obviously deserve what they got here this week from us.
Well, there you go. You got all 4 points in the standings at home over the weekend. 11-6-0-1 on the year, still in 3rd place in the Frontier Division, and a big looming matchup coming 2 games this weekend, Friday, Saturday at home. Gillette's coming to town, and they sit atop the division right now. What do you have to do to shut down the 12-game win streak the Wild have going for them right now?
Yeah, they're very aggressive, very in your face type of team. They play an outnumbering style of hockey, and we just gotta be poised and ready to play. If we can do that and capitalize, they have very good goaltending. Let's not make any mistakes about that. Their goaltending is very solid. So once we once we get some opportunities, we got to capitalize on them. We got to get the puck past their goaltender. And the last time we played them, we did not do a good job of that. We had plenty of opportunities and plenty of chances, and we didn't score. So that's really kind of be the message this week, and it's going to be what we're working on a lot is getting the puck to the net and getting there for some rebounds and really trying to get some ugly goals here to kind of get us kickstarted.
So would you say that's the biggest takeaway from the last time you played them, was just not finishing plays?
Not finishing plays, 100%. I think, both nights we out in the first period, both nights, and then we outchanced them. I think Friday night in Gillette, we outchanced them, and Saturday they got the better of us on the chances. But when you're out shooting and out chancing a team, you gotta find ways to get pucks in the back of the net. So that's really what we're going to spend a lot of time in this week working on.
Last two games against the Wild this regular season, you get to see them at home. What's it been like? This is the longest homestand you're going to have this season. How nice has it been to be at Haynes Pavilion the last few games?
Yeah, again, when the guys get to sleep in their own beds and have the comforts of home, and they've all settled into their billet families now. So when billet families throw something on the table to eat, it's not foreign to them anymore, and so I think that aspect of it is huge, to be able to play at home, and you don't have to make the 7-hour trip and stay in a hotel and do all those things. So we're excited to be at home, and we talked about this in our morning meeting this morning, is that this is the last 2 shots regular season that we're going to have at Gillette, and we're going to have to make these count, and they're cruising right now. So these are big games for us.
Yeah, and they haven't just been cruising, they've been throttling their opposition. So definitely a big test on the table coming up this weekend. Games are Friday, Saturday at 7:30 p.m. If you can't make it out to Haynes Pavilion, you can watch the games on NAHL TV. So make sure you sign up for that. If you haven't already, you all probably have. So who am I to say? As we get ready to wrap up the show today, Coach, you got any last words or any other big things coming up this week?
Yeah, we're still doing our fundraising. We have our Cats and Dogs raffle that's going on as well, and then of course, I got to make mention. Coach Burton has a birthday this week, so we want to say happy birthday to him, and it'll be good to get Coach Butner back in the mix. He was unavailable this weekend. He had a wedding in Las Vegas, so we're excited to get him back. He's a big piece to what we do, and I gotta give a lot of credit to those 2 guys and the time and effort that they put into this, and the care for the players and the care for our organization. I can't say enough about who they are as people. So if there's anything I want to say, it's definitely a big thank you to both those guys. They're great human beings and good friends and good hockey people.
Well, here's to hoping there can be another celebration at Old Chicago this week, and you can have a post-game party where everybody's in great spirits. I'm sure it went down at the pizza place the other day.
Yeah. We were over at Old Chicago after the game on Saturday night, and the guys and families and everybody was there. So, it's always fun to, after a weekend, after you sweep a weekend or have a win on a Saturday night and go over to Old Chicago, it's always fun. And we can't thank them enough for being a sponsor of ours and taking us in after a game and taking care of us and take care of families and take care of the players and making sure everybody's getting food and stuff. So that's Old Chicago's been a great partner, and we can't thank them enough for everything that they do.
Perfect. Well, here's to another post-game celebration this weekend, hopefully. Coach, good luck against Gillette. We'll talk to you next Monday.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it.
This has been the Coach's Show on CIH Media. Don't forget, you can follow us on all the social media platforms at CIH Media on Instagram, X, and Facebook, and follow us on YouTube because that's where you're going to be able to watch this show. I'm Eric Pesolano. This has been the Coach's Show on CIH Media. We'll see you next week, everybody. Bye-bye.